Hi people, how you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Victoria Nanos. In case you're new here and in case you're returning, thank you very much. It is a Sunday and it's time for Trending with Victoria. Remember, this is a segment that comes your way every Sunday and it contains 5 stories that come from any part of the world. But remember, they are stories that are always that have been making rounds on our different platforms. Yes, and before we continue, have you subscribed? If not, please go ahead and press the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, you get notified. And let's straight away go to the first story, which comes in from Monaco, where and by the names of Joshua Cheptegie won a 5,000 meters race. Yes, he did run and he won that race. Now he won it after a whopping 16 years and he did break that record.
Earlier today, we witnessed what very well might be the greatest 5,000-meter race of all time. In the Diamond League meeting in Monaco, Joshua Cheptegie from Uganda broke the world record with a staggering time of 12 minutes 35.37 seconds. This earth-shattering performance broke the 16-year-old world record of Kenenisa Bekele, which stood at 12 minutes 37.35 seconds. This is a big deal. Ever since Bekele's record was set back in 2004, no athlete has ever been within 5 seconds of this time. But now, there's a new king of distance running, and his name is Joshua Cheptegie. So how exactly did he do this? For well over a decade, no other runner could even get close. But in what seemed like an almost effortless run into the history books, this Ugandan runner shattered all expectations. Building up to this race, the plan was for Cheptegie to follow a nearly identical pacing strategy as Bekele did. But in his bid for distance running immortality, his speed and endurance outlasted anyone else in history. Keep in mind here that Bekele is largely regarded as the greatest male distance runner of all time, so this only makes this performance all the more unbelievable. Through his opening 400 meters, he was already way ahead of the field, and with an opening lap of around 60.5 seconds, his pace was almost perfect. This solid pacing continued through the first kilometer as he split a time of 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and amazingly, this quick tempo only continued as he split a time of 5 minutes and 3 seconds through 5 laps. With 7 laps to run, he split a time of 5 minutes 34.4 seconds, and from this point all the way to the finish line, Cheptegie made 60-second laps look like a walk in the park. With 4 laps to go, he was still right on pace with Bekele's record, but now the big question was, could he close his final mile in under 4 minutes and 2 seconds? This pace seemed somewhat realistic at the time, but I must admit, with each passing lap, his pace left me almost speechless. First, he ran a lap of 60.18 seconds, which was yet another split which put him further ahead of the previous world record. Next, he split a time of 60.33 seconds, and now with only 2 laps to run, he needed a final 800 meters of around 2 minutes and 1 second. But with his next 400 meter split coming in at 59.97 seconds, it became evident that it was time. With just under 1 lap to run, Cheptegie let out a small smile, and even though he was certainly experiencing extreme pain, he knew he had the record. And for his final 400 meters, he strided away into the record books. Down the back stretch, he looked smooth but powerful, and even though he was running at a sub 60 per lap pace, he somehow made this look easy. This athlete is very, very special. Up to this point, Cheptegie had broken multiple world records, he was a world cross-country champion, and he was also a world track and field champion. But without question, none of these other moments match what he just did today. This was one of the most untouchable world records in track and field, and with an almost inconceivable time of 12 minutes 35.37 seconds, he crossed the line as the new all-time fastest athlete in the history of the 5,000 meters. This finishing time equates to an average lap of 60.42 seconds per lap, an average kilometer pace of 2 minutes 31.07 seconds, and an average mile pace of 4 minutes and 2 seconds. The fact that this breakthrough even happened this year is simply incredible, and at this point, I can't help but think that over the next few seasons, we will see many more world records go down. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, Cheptegie is an absolute legend.
Kong's Joshua Cheptegie, and thanks for making Uganda proud. Yes, he won that in Monaco, but he's a Ugandan. Yes, and he made our country proud, and Kongs once again to him. Yes, wish him to run more and more so that he brings those trophies back home, and so that he puts the Ugandan name on the world map more and more. And that the second story comes in from Russia, where the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, came out and said that Russia developed a coronavirus vaccine. Wow. This is very good news, considering that coronavirus is spreading. Yes, they had tried to control it here and there by bringing in lockdowns in different countries, and but there needed to be a solution to the end of this virus. Now, Russia comes out as the first country to publicly say that, what, we have developed a vaccine that they are ready to administer to the people in Russia. They've not yet come out to say that they are going to send it to other countries, but for now, they are going to administer it to the people in Russia. And yes, they said that they did testing on humans 2 months back and it proved to be working. Now they are going to administer it to the people of Russia. While addressing the nation, the president went ahead and said that his daughter had been vaccinated with that vaccine, which was locally developed in Russia. And yes, their health minister also came out and said that doctors will be the first people to be vaccinated in Russia, and from there, different people will be also vaccinated in Russia. I don't know whether it will be by choice or everyone will be vaccinated, but the health organization came out and said that it has not yet approved the vaccine that was made in Russia. But anyway, what matters is the vaccine is there, and let us see how it goes in Russia. You never know, from there it will be spread to different parts of the world, because coronavirus is not to be going as fast as we thought it may go. In Uganda here, some people have started dying, and yes, the cases are increasing day by day. At least we are losing someone to coronavirus. Now, if this vaccine can work, then other countries can partake of it, and yes, coronavirus will have to go away. Number 3 comes in from Uganda, and it comes in on a sad note, where a church building was demolished. How? As in, this story has caused so many questions. It has triggered so many questions, and yes, it led to the striking of some of the vicars or the deacons in a church of Uganda, because it was an Anglican church that was located in Ndeba. So this church was demolished down by one Dodovico. Of course, he did not do it. He hired people to do it. But it is said that he bought this land with this church building in, which church had spent 49 years. How do you demolish a church that has spent 49 years? How much do you respect your God? What do you put first? Is it God who has given you that money? Is it your love for the land? And the people who sold this place, what did you think? Okay, you're not concerned, but what do you know that you're carrying to your generation? What do you know? This is a place that draws God's people to him. This is a place where souls are being healed. And you go ahead and demolish it? Oh no, it is sad. Now, the president of Uganda intervened and said that this church is going to be rebuilt again. And yes, some people who participated in the demolition of this church were taken to court, and yes, they were remanded to Rosella, but we shall see how it goes on. But it is very sad, and it speaks so much of the kind of people that we are. Where are we heading to as the nation? Where is that love for God? Have we forgotten it? Have we forgotten that He's the reason we are living? How much do you respect your God to go ahead and put His place of worship down because you want to construct an arcade there, or you want to put a mall, or whatever you want to put there? It's the time for us to rethink our decisions, and for us to rethink more about church instead of looking at things happening. Many people came out to protest. Many people cried for the church, but it had already gone because it was demolished in the night, not during the day. And yes, if it was demolishing it in the night, just shows that, you know what, you are doing the wrong thing, but you decided to go ahead and do it. Rethink. To whoever participated, rethink. It is not about money sometimes, but let us go to the drawing board and know it is about our Creator. Rethink our actions, because God gave you that life. God is the reason you have the money. But when you come out and demolish His building, what do you think about yourself? How much have you respected Him? And how many people are you drawing away from God that used to meet in that place? And that number 4 comes in from Uganda, where early pregnancies have been reported for over 17% of girls who are at home. Now, these are school-going children who are in the lockdown. Schools in Uganda were closed way back in March when coronavirus had not even started in Uganda. That is before the first report of coronavirus was reported in Uganda. Reports are coming out to say that some of these girls have gotten pregnant during this period, and it means that some of them will not be able to go back to school in case schools are reopened this year, or go back to school next year. And then some of them will actually not be able to go back to school again. And many people are come out to say that this is because schools were closed, that it is the reason as to why girls are getting pregnant. And they are like, these girls are getting pregnant because they are being convinced by men or boys that they can do for them things that maybe their parents cannot do. Really? For example, I was reading a certain story where a girl was asked when she got pregnant, and she said that this man bought her pads during her periods, and because of that, she had to pay back with sex. What? How? And where are the parents in all this? Now, this to me shows how much parents have left their roles for the teachers. Yes, school is like home to all of us. That is before you join the working world, and that is before you complete school. Before you complete school to go to the working world. School is a very, very big part of us, and we spend a lot of time more in school than at home. But yes, during this time, parents, somehow of you have been in a lockdown. How are you taking care of your children? Why is it that this role is only for the teachers? Why is it that we are putting this very important role on the teachers, attaching the teachers, that because schools are not open, that is why our girls are getting pregnant? That speaks more of our parenting skills. So that means when the lockdown is extended, we are going to have few girls going back to school because they are getting pregnant. Parents, it is high time you came out and did your role, and you partook of your role instead of leaving your roles to other people. Now, for example, the girl who came out to say that it is because of pads. There are so many options of pads. You can make them out of old clothes, get them, add them together and make pads out of them. Instead of your child coming out to say that I did not have pads and someone bought me pads of 3,000 or 2,000. Parents, it is high time that we also took on our roles instead of leaving them for other people. It is high time we stopped the blame game, saying that because your children are not in school, that is why they are getting pregnant. Yes, I know schools keep our girls from getting pregnant, but then what is your role as a parent? This is what this report really perturbed my mind, and I was like, why? Where are the parents? And this is not happening only in Uganda, but it in Kenya. The same report came out about how girls are getting pregnant because schools were stopped from operating. And yes, I'll still say, parents, play your role. They are your children. They are your lovely children. So speak to them. Why do you have that gap? Why do you create that gap? Why do you give the devil a gap when it is your child? Why does your child have to get pregnant? Where are you as a parent? Where is your role that was assigned to you? You gave birth to this child and the child is pregnant. What have you done as a parent, despite the fact that schools are closed? How have you talked to this child? What are you telling them? They are now pregnant. What are you doing for it? How are you helping them out? Are you chasing them away from home? Because that is what most parents will do, go and get married, and they will not go again to school. So it's high time that parents took on their roles. It's high time that we helped the teachers as well. Like, as children are not in school, but what are we doing as parents? And that leads me to the last story, which still comes in from Uganda, where the Democratic Party bloc, and that is specifically the Buganda bloc that contains the Buganda MPs, joined NUP, that is the National Unity Platform, that is headed by Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, aka Bobiwine, aka the Ghetto Gladiator. Now, some of the MPs that joined this party that was formed by Honorable Kyagulanyi include Honorable Betty Namboze, Honorable Medad Segona, Honorable Sewanyana, and so many others that are part of the Buganda DP bloc. Now, DP as a party has had its problems with some of these members of parliament that joined the National Unity Platform in the past 5 years. Yes, some of them came out to form the DP bloc, or the Democratic Party bloc, and they block away from the Democratic Party that they were in previously, and they were running their own party in one way or the other. Now, many of these are expected to, many of them, apart from those from Buganda, still expected to join the National Unity Platform. And yes, the National Unity Platform gladly welcomes them. Yes, they really gladly welcome them to join the party as we are heading to the 2021 elections. But for these members that joined, someone came out and said, but these members joined us, the Orange Party, that back then in 2016 was headed by one Mama Mbabazi. Are they really genuinely wanting the party, or they want to win MP seats in these parties, so that after winning they walk away from these parties, these different parties that they go jumping onto? We shall see as we go on. But otherwise, there's other stories that made my week. Which stories made your week? Go in the comment section and let's discuss further about these stories, or any other stories that you feel did make your week. And that you feel did make your week. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you in another video.